Welcome everyone to the newest episode of the Bronx Muchachos podcast. I'm your host Mark, and tonight we got the boys with us. We got Danny,
Year was good, everybody.
we got David,
What's up?
we got Alex,
Hello, everybody.
and joining us today is also our good friend of the pod, and OG Muchacho, Paul Woodin from Prospects 1500.
Hey guys, thanks for the invite back.
Of course, anytime. All right, please remember to always subscribe, rate, review, and like us on Apple Podcasts, and listen to us on any platform where you guys can listen to podcasts. So, fellas, we got one more week before opening day, as we're recording on a Friday night. So next week is opening day. How are we feeling about the season, fellas?
Can't wait to get it up and running. This has been a long, long time coming. I feel like this offseason has taken, 8 months to get here, and here we are 6 days away. It still feels like it's taken forever. So, yeah, I'm ready.
Even with the shortened spring, I still feel like this is taking forever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for real games. 2 weeks of spring training, as a viewer, there's certain things that are nice to see, like Volpe and guys getting hacks and stuff like that. But I'm ready for Garrett Cole to take them out in Yankee Stadium and shove against the Red Sox.
It's funny. It's like someone who like didn't really get to watch too many spring training games this season because MLB TV's been a little like what they wanted to do, whatever. I'm excited because man, it's been a while and since I actually saw baseball, real baseball, not like okay, a little bit of innings here, a little bit of innings there, like whatever. I want to watch 9 innings of real baseball that counts. Like from what you mean, Danny talked last week. I want it to be the April that we need.
Well, same thing. I'm ready for baseball. Just kind of waiting here. A little nervous. The AL East is stacked.
Not that stacked anymore.
AL East is going to be no joke this year. We a couple episodes ago we all were picking what we thought the order was going to be. So why don't you tell us how do you think who's the number 1 team all the way down to the number 5 team?
Oh boy, that's put me on the spot.
That's what how we do.
That's why you're here.
I'd like to say the Yankees were number 1, but they're going to get hurt. We know that. Toronto. I'll go Toronto number 1. Something a little different, something a little bold. I agree with everything they've been saying. Like last year was their warm up. Last year, they have some quote about, I don't remember what it was, but they were talking about how last year was their warm up and this year is their big one. So I agree. Like all those guys, Vlad, Bo, etc. They all better. They got better in the bullpen. They got better in the rotation. I'll say New York number 2, Boston 3. Baltimore's in the bottom. So there you go.
Picking Tampa 4. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
They're gonna do some weird stuff and end up in the first place.
Yeah,
I just have a feeling.
Right. I there's something about the way they do it. I don't know if it's going to continuously be successful.
Well, it works. I think it works a lot it works during the regular season. Because they can mix and match. They can do this against a lot of other teams because 3-game sets. But when they hit the playoffs, that's when it kind of falls apart. That's when that bullpen of theirs they burn them out too quickly.
Well, that's my concern. I think that Tampa at the backside of the season might drop 10 of 12 or something and take a slide because that whole division is going to be real tight. You're going to have to win the games in your division versus Baltimore, and you're going to have to win against your outer league opponents, the NL teams and such. You're going to have to be perfect.
Yeah, and then at worst, you just got to split against everybody else in the division.
Right.
Whoever beats Baltimore the most is probably going to win the AL East. If the Yankees go 18-1 against Baltimore and Toronto go 17-2, Yankees are going to win the AL East by 1 game. I think it's really going to come down to that.
I'm sorry, but that is hilarious when you said that. It's like, all right.
Hey, Baltimore, come here.
The crazy part is I don't think Baltimore's too far off to being a little bit better than what we expect. They got a lot of kids, and I think that all those minor leaguers, not necessarily this year, but maybe in 2023 and 2024, they become relevant or pretty damn close to relevant. A little over 500, and then go from there.
Yeah,
They
the
got
number one prospect.
They got Adley,
Yeah.
Grayson
The number one
Rodriguez.
prospect.
Yeah, Grayson Rodriguez is going to be your ace right there for Baltimore for decades. So you have an ace, you have a stud catcher. They got
Well,
other
and
pieces.
Gunner's something or other. He's their
Anderson,
shortstop of the future
Yeah,
too.
up the middle. Yep, shortstop. So they got pieces. Cedric Bones, if they keep him around, that kid hits. That could be their next hitter for 8 years.
I think Mullins and Mancini get moved at the deadline this year if they're still in the basement.
Mancini, I agree on. I think you got to keep Mullins. He's not a high salary guy, and he's still kind of young. Mancini's making a bunch of money.
I keep Mullins 30-30 guy, and let's see if he can do it again. But Grayson Rodriguez is going to be starting in AAA this year for Norfolk. So he's knocking on the door, and he's got great stuff. Brandon Lockridge, a guy who doesn't know many names, points it out Grayson Rodriguez as a guy that he remembers as like, oh, man, that guy's a stud. So for a guy to not know names but know that one, that kind of speaks volumes to me. So, he's knocking on the door.
No names that he was taken deep or owned him.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where that conversation was coming from. But screw the Orioles. This is the Yankees podcast. So,
and I've said it before. I said it. I'm gonna say it again. Yankees are gonna win the AL East. Everyone's picking Toronto. I feel like they're just names, and I'm gonna say that until we do it or we don't do it, and then you guys can make fun of me if we don't.
Bold statement there.
Hot take.
I like how he's doubling down on it too. He's just good for you, man. Good for you. Keep doubling down. Keep going.
I'm extremely stubborn. I say what I say, and I'm gonna stick to it.
So, did you guys see MLB put out a best rotations in the big leagues on the website?
Yeah, where we're at 30th.
Toronto number 3. That rotation's disgusting.
Toronto's number 3. Yankees are number 9, I think. They said they put us at number 9.
Yeah, number 9.
I think that's kind of lowballing us.
I don't think so.
No,
I think
there's so many injury questions. You got all the injury questions. I mean, look at all the question marks that come in. Which Garrett Cole are you getting this year? What Sevy you're getting this year? Is Tyone? Is that injury coming? Is he's going to be fully recovered from there? Is Nestor really who he's going to be? Because he's the number 5 guy. You got Monty in there as well, and that's before you then your 6, 7, 8 guys are going to be all kids. Basically. You got Heel. Debbie looks like is looking good this year in spring training. Schmidt doesn't look too bad. Dave, didn't you see Manny Banuelos, or you were watching him on a game one time? He's been looking good?
So I went to the game on March 20th. I took the drive down to Tampa. A buddy of mine has season tickets to spring training, so he had an extra one, so I went. I was there 2 rows off the field. I could literally reach out and touch Aaron Judge if I wanted to. It was like coming face to face with Jesus himself. It was great.
Well, hopefully he signed that restraining order for you.
Nah, not like other people that might want to take a restraining order out against me. But we'll leave that one alone.
Dave, did you talk to him about signing that extension? Just getting it done right there on the spot?
No. Didn't get the chance, but anyway. Ben Willis came into the game, I believe, let me double check here. Van Willis came in the 8th inning, and he looked amazing. I'm not going to lie. I mean, where I was sitting was kind of on an angle behind first base, looking at a 45-degree angle from first across the third base, but no one could hit him. I mean, he gave up. He didn't give up anything. He pitched 1 inning and struck out 1 guy. I mean, this is not the same dude that was in our minor league system 10 years ago. He is not the same pitcher. If anything, he's better. I don't know what happened to him in Mexico or over in Taiwan, but whatever fixed him, I'm excited. I really hope he does make the 40-man along with Marlon Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think it will take a lot for Ben Willis to kind of crack that 28-man roster. I think we're still at 39.
Not necessarily, man. I mean, all it takes is 1 injury. I mean, like Brandon was telling us a few weeks ago, you're 1 injury away from getting the call. I mean, that's literally all it's going to take. Say Tyone snaps his ankle, God forbid, in the first week of the season. You're going to need depth pieces in the minor leagues to fill that hole. So
Yeah, we already got guys on the 40-man that could take that spot. Davey, Schmidt, Heel. Those are the first three guys that are going to be called up.
It depends on what they're looking for. If they're looking for experience.
Well,
I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
Davey and Heel have got experience in pitching. I mean, Schmidt's got a little bit of experience too. I mean, who would you take? Who would be your first call up? I would take Heel as my first call. He's got to be Heel. He's the pitch the best out of all of them.
He's still nasty. That fastball at the top of the zone with the slider is just nasty. And he's still throwing 96, 97.
Yeah, think about Danny though. Like Dave says, just one Jacob deGrom away.
Ooh.
Facts.
That's rough for our little brother right there. That's real rough.
Brother, no.
They're the redheaded stepchild in New York, man. What are you talking about?
Sorry, Matt, you deserve it. You deserve it. You're spending all this money thinking that you're the big fish, and now you're realizing now you got the injury game like we do. Have fun with that.
You know, Stevie Big Bucks is going to go out there and buy somebody else. Come on now, he's got the SEC never took all that money away from him.
No, not this season. It'll have to be next season.
Paul understands that one. He's still laughing over there. So with what we've seen right now, I mean, there's a lot to like with this team right now. I think that, unfortunately, we got Cabrera and Peraza, Cabrera, Capraza, and now I'm blanking on the last guy's name. Florial. They all went back to AAA, I think, last week.
Yeah.
Which I think what is it? I think that was a little bit too soon for them to go down, but I mean, if they weren't going to get complained, Florial, no, but I think
Peraza and Cabrera really surprised me because when I went to that game on the 20th, I watched Cabrera smoke a grand slam into right field. And the ball was just absolutely crushed. I mean, I think he definitely deserved a little bit of a longer look along with Peraza. And Peraza, I think, has barely played the spring training in actual games. The both of them. Actually, no, take that back. Cabrera's actually seen more game time than I think Peraza has.
They've gotten Peraza in there, but I think they've been giving Volpe a lot of game time too.
They have been. Yeah. And
Peraza definitely.
And with Volpe, sorry, Danny. With Volpe, I got to see him play that game I went to also. And I don't know if it was the jitters of playing the first game at GMS that got to him, but his throws were just hitting the dirt like 5 to 10 feet before getting to first base. But then a few games ago, when they were playing back in Tampa, his throws from short to first were on a line straight to the first baseman. So I think it was just the jitters that were getting to him in the first game of playing at GMS. But that's just my opinion. I still think he has the capability to be a shortstop.
His arm is pretty average for short. I think he would have a pretty good arm for second. And just seeing everything that we've seen, like that everybody's reporting, I actually being able to see it on TV, I'm like, oh yeah, I see it now. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and when at bat that I saw Peraza, he pulled like 3 homers foul. And I was just like, wow, this guy's got like a short, quick stroke. And there's some power there. So I was just really impressed in how he handled himself at the plate against a guy that had pretty good stuff that day. I think it was against Baltimore. This was a couple of weeks ago at this point. But he just looked super impressive and controlled the zone, and that's everything that the Yankees preach from single A all the way up to the big leagues now. So I'm glad it's translating, and especially for him, getting some power in there.
Yeah, I don't know what Dylan Lawson's doing with his team, but I like it.
I agree with Danny, and I said this in the last pod too. Volpe at second base, Peraza at shortstop. Let's do it.
You and me both said that, weren't we? We were like on that the whole time, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to. We have 2 great players for the same position. Somebody's gotta move.
Like I said, it's like I've always said, Danny.
And I don't want to trade him.
I want your boy to do good. I want your boy to do real good this season. July comes around. Bye. Sayonara pitcher.
I think a lot of us have been on the whole kick of moving Volpe over to second base. Because that was one thing because Volpe has been talking about it being double play combo with Peraza, and
Yep.
then I think that that's the spot. I think that when he comes up, because I think he's a year behind Peraza at minimum. So I think that's where it's going to be. Peraza is the better glove at short. Let him play short. Move Volpe over to second. Figure out third base. I mean, if you guys think about it, pretty much that entire infield in 2 years could possibly not be there. Donaldson's is on a 2-year deal. Rizzo's got 2 1-year deals, so he's done it basically done 2 years. I think what is it, IFK, IKF, however you want to call him. He's what, 2
IKEA.
years, and then Alex's boy Glaber. I think he's gone in 2, maybe 3 years. So, I mean,
2025.
So that's 3 years. So you're still talking like you got a whole new infield that can come in one time.
I'm curious
And
to
actually,
see.
sorry, Paul, go ahead.
I'm just curious to see if at Scranton they would put Volpe at second, Peraza at short, and Cabrera at third, just so they all get the reps, A, the at bats, and B, the reps in the field at AAA and go from there.
Well, Volpe's starting the season at Double A Somerset, so
Yeah, but
there's that.
I don't think it's gonna be long. He's not. They're not
Yeah.
holding him to Double A if he can hit. There's no
Oh
point.
yeah,
in
no, absolutely, I completely agree with that.
So then you got.
Speaking of Double A, congrats to our boy Danny Fiorito, our first ever guest on the Bronx Muchachos podcast, who's now the Somerset Patriots manager. So congrats to him. Whoop, whoop. For the Prep Rams, let's go. Representing.
So,
But yeah, go ahead.
did anyone actually get a chance to see Cole?
What?
Did anyone get a chance to see Garrett today?
No, did not.
No, it was they were in a away game. Couldn't watch it.
I
As you
was
said before, MLB.TV didn't like to give it the freebies out.
I was
Oh,
sitting
so
at the
you-
Hyundai dealership for 2 hours getting my tires rotated and my oil changed. It's like, really, 2 hours for this?
Sounds fun.
I
It was
was-
on the radio.
I did see
Yeah.
some of it. I did get to see some of it.
What info can you give us about Garrett Cole?
He looked fine. Nothing spectacular. I mean,
Well, if you look on,
he was a
if you look
Garrett
on
Cole
Twitter
outing.
today,
I think it was 2 hits over 3 and third.
Does he look like he's basically ready to pump that up for Thursday?
Yeah, it looks fine. He was gonna get not a Garrett Cole type outing, but if I get 3 runs and over 6,
Yeah. He said he's ready.
Yeah, he's got one more outing in him. Probably.
I think this is the last outing.
No, this is it. Yeah.
I think he went 64 pitches, so he's not going to be up to 100.
No, he's going to be at 80.
So,
But some interesting things from Twitter from Garrett's performance today. Fastball averaged around 97. He got up to 99. He broke out a couple cutters, actually more than a couple, 5 cutters, to get guys off that fastball, which I like, especially to lefties. He had the full repertoire of pitches out: knuckle curve, slider, the cutter, and fastball, and a couple changeups. So I'm interested to see how that cutter is going to translate, because we all know Cole likes that high forcing fastball, top of the zone. Just give guys another look. Something shorter than a slider might catch him off guard, maybe break some bats. We'll see how it pans out.
Wouldn't be too bad. I mean, it'll be right in between the four seam and the slider. So I mean, that cutter could kind of slide in. They could be thinking it's a fastball, swing early, miss it, where they're thinking it's the slider, and then swinging just comes in and saws them off or catches them at the wrong part of the bat.
I kind of want to see Cole throw to someone besides Higgy too. Again, he's throwing to Higgy. It's a thing that they keep touching back on. If something happens to Higgy, he's gonna be all right.
well, you got Rortenvet on the DL right now with a pull oblique. So I'm surprised they didn't have him throw to Higgy one game and then Brantley the other, since he seems to be the heir apparent to be the backup catcher until Rorty gets back off the IL.
I don't think
For
they
$324 million, Garrett Cole should be able to throw to whomever's back there.
Exactly.
With the exception of Gary Sanchez.
That's my point. That's my point. But he keeps saying he needs Higgy, so that's been shown.
That's
been
because they were literally baseball buddies and played through high school and I think college maybe together. I'm not sure.
No, I don't even think they
Um,
played. They played around the same time, but they were never on the same teams. Like they
Yeah.
all there was all the Southern California thing, but like
Yeah.
I think Cole's. I think
They were teammates at one point. I can't remember if it was high school or little league, but
it might
they
have been
were
high school.
teammates at one
I
point.
think I
when
think
they
it was
were
I think it
kids.
was high school, but I mean, but Higgy wasn't wasn't as highly touted as Cole coming up.
No.
They just known each other. It's kind of like like Trevor Plouffe knows Max Fried and Jack Flaherty and what's the other guy? There's three. There's three. Lucas
Giolito.
Giolito. Yeah, like those three guys all came out of the same high school rotation, and
That's
Trevor Plouffe
sick.
and Trevor Plouffe was few years before them, and he's known all those guys. Like he knows Cole Tucker. Like they all are all boys out in Southern California. So it's just one of those things. Like it's a small community. Like top end guys know the top end guys.
What you guys think about the lineups Boone has been putting out there? Different guy lead off pretty much throughout the entire week. We had Donaldson, we had GT, we had LeMahieu, we had Rizzo, we
Absolutely
even had
hate it.
Judge. You don't like it, Paul?
No,
Wow. All right. I want to hear.
So all right. So this is the same thing that happened during the season last year. They kept moving guys off, changing who's hitting one, who's hitting two. You got to find some consistency. You got to find some like rhythm, consistency, something where this is going to happen. You can't. I'm just not a fan of keep changing guys to the 1 and 2 spots and sliding someone down. Consistency. Let's find a rhythm. Let's find all right, somebody talk to somebody as they're coming off the field. Like, hey, the next guy, hey, this guy threw A, B, and C. It's not like that. There's no consistency.
So what's your top 1 through 9? Like how are we doing this? 1 through 9. How are you going to go with it?
Oh boy. All right. Let me look at this. Give me a second.
All right.
Well, I'll go first because I already have this written down. So I got DJ leading off playing third, Judge second and right. Center field. Stanton batting third and right. Rizzo fourth, Donaldson fifth as the DH. IKF sixth, IKF sixth, Torres 7, Gallo 8 and left, and Higgy catching, and Hicks can ride the pine, as far as I'm concerned for now. So that's all I'm rolling with it if I'm Boone.
Yeah, well, Boone doesn't make the decisions anyway, so.
Yeah, we know that. The notebook does.
Boone makes lineup decisions.
No, he doesn't, Dan.
No, Danny, you're right. He makes the decision. He just signs off on whatever the analytic guys say.
Oh my God! Here, we're not passing along that narrative, right? He is the guy that's going to be making decisions.
And I do agree with Paul. There needs to be consistency. Baseball players are creatures of habit, and they get thrown off their game when things get messed with. When they shouldn't be. I mean, Boone's basically been doing what Billy Martin did, put names in a hat and pull them out,
we legitimately said that plenty of times on here. Like, we've always said it, like, consistency.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
And this
matter
is
what
and
position.
this is where I disagree with you guys. I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum here. Always complete opposite.
Sorry that we're all acting like boomers then, I guess. I'm sorry.
The reason why I like it is because this is the time to do it. Do you want to do this during the regular season? Let's say
he's going to do it during the regular season anyway, bro.
Hold on, let me make my point. Let's say DJ is 0 for 12 or whatever the case may be, or having just not feeling it at the leadoff spot. We saw what he did last year. He hit 268. He didn't hit 711 OPS.
So,
what if we get that again from
with
DJ?
a torn
Hold on. Did I jump on you guys? No, chill out. Hold on. Hold up.
How dare you? You're wrong. Shut up.
So, I understand the consistency part, but this is spring training. This is a time to figure out who is comfortable with what. You don't want to come to the regular season and hit Donaldson leadoff and find out he hates it. You don't want to go to the regular season and lead off Judge and find out he hates it. This is time to experiment with different things. Rizzo batting leadoff, so You gather that information, and with
No.
Boone's gonna gather that information
Sorry, I'm
and
sorry.
see
Danny.
who likes what.
No.
Yeah, but here's the kicker to your thing. It's already been said that Stanton likes batting second, and they don't bat him second. That Judge doesn't like batting second, and they keep putting him there. Why do they keep doing that if they know that Judge doesn't like batting second, he likes batting third or fourth or something like that, and Stanton really does like batting in the 2-hole.
So
why do they then turn around if they know that they like that? Why is that happening?
Who's a better hitter?
Boone,
Well, I know
Judge
who's
or
a better.
Stanton?
I know that, but if they both go on a tear, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If they're both on a tear, it doesn't matter. Especially if Stanton now plays more in the field, where he will be a better player. Then it doesn't matter. Put Stanton where he feels comfortable. Put Judge where he feels comfortable. Don't put them together. Don't listen. Boone listens to the analytic team. I'm gonna hammer that point home. Boone's not making that lineup, because if he's making that lineup, he will then be listening to those guys. That Judge doesn't want to be hitting number 2. That someone doesn't want to be hitting number 7 or whatever. They want to be that they feel comfortable in those spots. Boone's not making that decision. It's coming from Cashman and Cashman's numbers guy. Say, okay, well, this is where they belong because this is the best spot for everybody right now.
I could almost guarantee you the analytics team didn't say bat Joey Gallo 4th behind Giancarlo Stanton in the wild card game. That's a dumb Aaron Boone decision right there, right? I say
He put that one in at the end after he signed off on it is what he did. He goes, you know what? I'm gonna put my stamp on this game. This is gonna be my game here.
That was dumb.
And actually, I've never understood this whole Judge second, Stanton third nonsense, because when you look back at the Boston Red Sox and their heyday from 04 to 2011, well, basically when Ortiz and Ramirez were there, Manny batted third and Ortiz batted fourth.
thank you. This is where I was going with my line.
It's a new day.
I'd like
It
to
doesn't
see.
matter,
That was
bro.
20 years ago.
Why are you having 2 of your power hitters batting second and third? They should be batting 3
Right.
and 4.
That's
You
where
want
I
your
was.
best hitters. You want your best hitters getting the most at bats.
Yeah, I understand the new. I understand that analytic part of the whole thing. That's why your
Stupid.
best hitters have been batting second because you get 100. I think they say like 100 more at bats
100 more at bats.
than batting in the 3-hole. I get that idea, but if your guy's not comfortable batting there, if he can perform much better batting in the 3-hole, why not put him batting in the 3-hole where he can perform better?
Judge hit 52 home runs heading from the 2-hole.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
but
then
I want guys on base in front of
he
him.
did that also with a messed up shoulder, and then he went on a tear of being
Punctured
injury prone for the next 4 years after that.
All right,
But he still
hold
did
on.
it from the 2-hole. Also, my last point about this, Dave Martinez is going to be batting Juan Soto second for the Nationals. That has no protection besides Nelson Cruz. So he wants, and the reason being is because he wants Soto hitting more times than not. There were 14 times last year when the Nationals were losing, and Soto was left on deck.
Yeah, because
So
Soto's their
you want your
player.
best. Aaron Judge is our
Soto
best player.
has
You want him
to
batting the
hit.
most.
But there's no one around Soto besides Cruz. You just said it yourself.
Yeah, but
At
he's
least
still
Aaron
the best
Judge has
player.
protection of Donaldson, Gallo,
Judge
Stanton.
and Stanton.
Judge
Judge and
has
Stanton
still the best
can
player.
have protection around them.
That's my thing. The Nationals don't have protection around Soto besides for Cruz.
If you want
And
to take
I'd
that
like
point,
to
Dan,
see
if you
more
want to take
than
that
one
point, Danny,
guy.
look out in LA with the Dodgers. They got Mookie Betts batting number 1. They don't even have him batting number 2 or 3. They got him batting leadoff the entire time.
That's because he's
You
a
know-
leadoff hitter.
What
He was
does
always. I mean,
2
not
and
the
3 in
quintessential
Boston.
leadoff hitter, but I mean, he's always been like top third of the lineup.
if I have
you know-
Mookie Betts, I'm gonna put him in first as well. I'm sorry, he's fast too.
Oh yeah.
Even
But
if he does, he got a-
and where's Shohei Ohtani been hitting? Where's Shohei Ohtani hitting? He's hitting 2, even with Mike Trout coming back.
Yep,
And where's Trout going? 3?
3.
I would love to
They
have a
need-
leadoff hitter, like an actual leadoff hitter that
what we need,
steals
yeah.
me bases.
Like
We
an
haven't
old
had
Ricky,
that.
like an old Ricky Henderson.
I mean, we were supposed to have that in Johnny Damon and Jacoby Ellsbury, but we didn't get that.
We were all supposed
Actually,
to.
I could see IKF becoming the leadoff hitter at some point this season if he
See, I had him.
picks up
I had
where he
him
left
down.
off last year.
I hit him down to turn the lineup over. I was thinking if you put him in 7 or 8 hole, turn that lineup over. Like Kiki's going to get me the occasional on base. He's going to give me the occasional home run. But if I got IKF in 7 and 8, turn that lineup back over to. I have DJ
Yeah,
on
he
the
did
top,
that too.
to DJ at the top.
Paul, let's hear your lineup. DJ,
DJ, Rizzo, get me on base. Both those guys, real good on base. because then I have Aaron Judge to drive in a 3-run home run instead of a 2-run home run. So then I have Judge, Stanton, Gallo. Gallo's either gonna hit me out of the park or get me a strikeout
Or walk.
Walk on or walk.
or a walk. But I mean, at that point,
That walk.
that's why I have Donaldson right after him. Because if he's on base, Donaldson can get him out, get him home.
And
Then
not
I
only
got-
that, with Paul's lineup so far too, you can't walk any of those guys either because the next dude behind it can easily come up and just smoke one out of the park.
Then I got
And,
IKF.
and he's already put the lefties up in front there too, which is nice because then that's breaking up the whole thing of okay, I can pitch this same thing.
Then I got IKF and Hicks, very interchangeable there. I mean, like I said, I want 7 or 8 for IKF, and then I got Higgy at 9. I think that turns over your lineup really well every single time with having IKF down towards the bottom.
And he left out Danny's boy too. Glaber's on the bench.
I don't like that. I want to use him, but where am I going to use him? I can't. He's not an outfielder. I can't stick him instead of Hicks.
What you could do is have Gallo, Stanton, and Judge in the outfield, put Donaldson as your DH, put DJ at third, and put Glaber at second.
Yeah.
This might sound like a hot take, but if Aaron Hicks is having a productive first half, I hope to God the Yankees trade him.
Who's going to take that salary?
Nobody.
It's 10.
He's
It's
only
only 10
owed
million.
40
10 a
million
year, 10 a
over.
year,
It's
10
10
a year,
million
that's
over
not bad.
4
That's
years.
manageable. And
That's
Yankees aren't going to
that's not hard.
trade.
That's not hard to eat.
And he's gonna be 33 this
No
year.
one's going to want his hurt. They know when he gets hurt. No one's going to want that.
And he's gonna be 33 this year.
Yeah.
Really.
I think by after next year they'll be. It's a lot easier to stomach that salary.
Mhm.
They could trade that thing off, no problem. They could turn around. They could trade him off and say, "Here, take the money as well." At
I
10
think
million a
he's-
year.
I think essentially he becomes the 4th outfielder. And $10 million.
He is an
for a 4th outfielder.
No, he is a fourth outfielder.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, that's what he is
True.
on
Yeah,
this
$10 million
roster.
bucks.
Judge
$10 million
Judge
bucks,
is
but
center field.
look who else you got out
Look
there.
at
I mean,
that.
look who else
You
you
guys
got there.
know- You guys know me. I want to use the minor leaguers. Give
Oh,
me
yeah.
some of that youth. Get some of the youth at bats. We discuss that all the time. Get some of the youth at bats.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a consistent basis, but give me some youth.
So,
I would have loved if they, I know why they made the trade, but to get Gary off the team, get Gio off the team, but man, they didn't have to do. They created a few problems along the way, but now they could have not made that deal and just put Praz up there and let him play at shortstop.
Gio wasn't the problem. Gio was the piece that was going to get the Twins to take Sanchez off
Right.
their hands. He
No,
was
I know
throw
that.
in.
No, what I'm saying is the problem that it kind of creates along the way now is that you still have question marks at catcher. You still don't you solved your defensive problem at shortstop, and then it's still a question mark on offense. You got a much older third baseman now who's going to break down. I mean, it created problems that we didn't have at that point.
That was something else I wanted to bring up. We took Josh Donaldson and $50 million?
Mm-hmm.
We could have got that Trevor Story guy and plucked him at second base and took care of everything.
I mean, he's
So
only
you could
making
have plucked my
23
shortstop
million.
at that point and took care of everything. Why am I paying Josh Donaldson? What, he's 36, 37?
Yeah.
He'll be 36
50
this
million.
year.
Yeah, $50 million. I could add Trevor Story plus a rotation piece for that same amount of money.
Well, Cashman thinks he's the smartest one in the room.
Well, the thing with Story, and I was on the Story bandwagon, and you guys know that. I liked him, but
No.
I liked him on a short-term deal. So the Red Sox gave him 6 years. The elbow needs to be proven that it's healthy. He needs to prove that he could play in the AL East. There's a lot of things that Trevor Story needs to do over the course of 6 years that I'm not sure if we look down the road, we're going to look back on it and say, oh, you know what, the Red Sox got a great deal out of that. I'm not sure. On a short-term deal, 2 to 3 years, I would say, yeah, let's roll the dice and see what happens.
But he agreed on playing second base. That's the key to that whole situation.
Yeah,
He
but
agreed.
but I'm not sure if he's going to be the same type of guy. I don't. I just don't. We'll see how it goes over the course of 6 years. The first 2 or 3 years, I think he's going to be a stud. I think he might be a thorn in our backsides, but after that, it's going to be dicey because he has to prove the elbow and the health and all that. So, Mark, I have a question. You were saying Peraza and Gio. Who would you rather have? IKF and Donaldson on the left side or Peraza and Gio?
That's a good one. You know what? I'm
That's
kind of
tough.
you know,
I'm gonna answer that.
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
answer
with-
that too. I'm gonna go Praz and Gio. That's
Oh,
what
I
I'm
was
gonna.
going the other way. I was going the other way. I was going IKF and Donaldson.
No,
I
I was
wouldn't-
going. I was going. I was going. I was going. I'm going Praz and Gio because I think that IKF and Praz are pretty much the same player. And I think Peraza has the more trajectory that he can grow and become better. I think Donaldson has already plateaued and on the way down. I think Gio is on the plateau on the way down too. But I think that I like Gio's defense better than Donaldson's defense. Obviously, the offensive side is a different ballgame, but I think that if we're looking at the biggest problem that the Yankees had on the infield was their defense. If you're going to be better, then have the better defensive players there. That's where I'm thinking.
Gio and Donaldson at this point in time, for all intents and purposes, are relatively equal on the defensive end of the side of the ball. All right. Donaldson is, according to the Shredder, the fifth best third baseman in baseball. Right.
If
IKF, right, if healthy. All you got to do is get him 130, 140 games. That's fine. Because guess who's going to be playing third when he's off? DJ. Right. And hopefully he bounces back. I
Then
think
your boy
everybody
Glaber.
here. What was that?
Then your boy Glaber plays.
Yeah, he's going to be playing anyway. Have you seen
Well,
his
you're
spring?
playing shortstop, bro.
Have you seen his spring? Anyway,
I have.
listen. All right.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Did you see his spring when he played shortstop? Oh man, I don't think my heart can take that one.
All I know is
It's only
this:
gonna
if
be like
we're going to talk about Glaber, I'm just going to be happy on April 26th to 28th. That's all. He plays the
one of
Orioles.
those days. When
He plays the Orioles. Oh, and the 15th to the 17th, another Orioles
Oh
series.
my god. I can't wait till
They
Glaber
raised
puts
that
up.
wall.
And it looks disgusting. I can't wait till Glaber puts up 40. I really can't wait.
Danny, I hope you're
That's
right.
cool, bro.
Because
As long as he doesn't play
hey,
shortstop.
if he puts up 40, we got number 28 in the bag.
Also, the whole season depends on Glaber's. Okay, but
No,
anyway.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that production you weren't expecting.
Yo,
Right.
if he puts 40 up, are you gonna be joining the Polar Bear Club, Danny?
The what? Polar Bear
You're
Club?
gonna go jumping in ice cold water in the middle of December in nothing but a speedo.
I ain't doing all that. I thought you were talking about Pete Alonso. I was like, what are you talking about Polar Bear Club for? I'm like 40 homers? Like, what? Anyway, no, man, I'm not doing all that. I'm just gonna be
I
here on
don't
the
know, man. I heard
sidelines
you.
cheering them
I heard
on.
you Navy boys do some weird stuff, man. That's
Oh God, the Air Force guys. Here we go. Let's not. I don't think that's for public knowledge right here, man. We gotta keep that on the secret,
Hey, I got a beach.
confidential.
I got a beach 10 minutes from me, and it's been like 40 degrees and below every day this week where I'm at. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
You know, we'll make a trip up there during the wintertime. Danny could do his thing and be done with it. We'll videotape it. We'll put it on YouTube.
they do a polar plunge. I did it a couple years ago. It's pretty good.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I don't want to burn people's eyes here, man. Come on, this is like 5'7", 280 over here, man. It's not happening.
So you won't freeze that much then.
yeah.
Oh man. So I think you guys know where I go with the IKF and Donaldson thing. I think I prefer them over a Peraza or a Gio or even having a Gary still on the team. There's no way. This team is so much better now.
I'm going to agree with you on that, the IKF Donaldson thing, only because that's a win now move. I feel like Peraza isn't necessarily 100% ready.
Nope.
Yeah, I can probably get by with that 260 average, maybe a little bit lower, but it's not a win now move. The IKF Donaldson thing is a win now. Get that production out of these two.
Peraza might be a call up.
It's going to happen. It's guaranteed almost.
It's like, but Paul, think about Peraza. He might be a mid-season call up for Obi.
I agree, 100%. And that's going to come down to injuries, trading Glaber.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anything, somebody might be not as productive.
So what
See
happens
how
in
it
the first?
goes.
What happens at the first 2 months when IKF is batting like 180?
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I agree.
Just play it out. Just go down the road with me for a second. What if he's batting up what if he's batting 180 and he's just, and you know, his defense is gonna. I think his defense is gonna be defense. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I don't think he like the offensive side is going to play on the defensive side for him. You know, I think that his defense will still be gold glove caliber, or just a hair underneath it. If he's doing that, and Peraza is tearing up AAA, what's to say you can't make that move at that point?
Well, who you gonna release? Who you trading? Who you sending down? Because it's gonna take a corresponding move to bring up Peraza, even though he's on the 40-man roster. You're gonna have to DFA somebody.
I'm pretty sure IKF has options.
Yeah, he's young enough.
I think he has 1 or 2 options left. If IKF has 1 or 2 options left, which I believe he does, then you have to seriously consider sending him down for whatever reason for a little bit, just to get his head straight, and then bring up a guy like Peraza if he is tripping it, like if he is like super hot in AAA. And what I mean by super hot, I mean like 360, 10 homers, 15 stolen bases by the deadline. You know,
I don't think we're gonna need to worry about that though, IKF, because like, let's be real. Last season, we might not know much about him, but let's be real. Last season, he did a 3.7 WAR. So like, compared to basically our whole infield, that they were horrible. Like, we need that. That's exactly what we need for this season. And it's like we won in the trade. We got Donaldson as well. His is 3.2. So look, a 3.2 and a 3.7 WAR that we got, compared to freaking Gio's 0.3 and
Gary's 0.8.
0.8. Like, come on, we're doing way better than we had to do. I don't see the need at all. What we need to have going on is we need Gleyber Torres to do good. We need DJ to do good. Reason why we need those people to do good, so then that way, when midseason comes around, who knows what we got to do? Even Hicks. If Hicks does good, and if someone is willing to take it, who knows? But that's what we need.
Yeah, but if we're going for a World Series title at that point, you think we're going to be subtracting from the roster
to get a pitcher? Yes.
Not from the 25-man roster, not from the 26-man roster. We're adding to it.
Yeah, you're gonna add to. I'm with Danny. You're not gonna take away a Hicks. You're not taking away Gleyber, especially at that point.
For a pitcher, let's say there was a pitcher out there that's an ace pitcher, or let's say over there in the Athletics. Like, let's say finally they say, yeah, we want to do the trade finally, and we can finally get that number 3. Hopefully, if Sevy does his job this year. Okay, if Sevy doesn't have any arm problems, and as long as Cole doesn't have any sticky problems as well. Like, if we get a number 3 pitcher, we're going to have a ring. That's all we care about. That's all we ever going to care about.
It's not going to come from a 26-man roster if we're trading with Oakland or a team like Cincinnati, because they're shedding payroll. It would be a trade like Gallo with 4 depth minor league guys. They got really good. They got 2 really good ones, and Ezekiel Duran and Josh Smith. Those guys are raking right now.
I'm not going to disagree with you though. I'm not going to be a trade.
Yeah, Glenn Otto made his way.
That's what we need to do. We need to pull.
And if we look at
some sort of magic.
If we look at the trade with Tyone, Rosemary, I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Contreras, he's turned out to be the top pitcher. Yeah, Miguel Yajare, like Contreras especially, and it's turned out to be a really special type of prospect.
You had Michael Escato was in that, and then what's the guy's name?
Diego
Smith.
Castillo went over for Clay Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
With Park
and then you had Smith. What's his Smith Nahara or something like that was
Canyon.
Was traded. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, they got the. I mean, we traded a lot of depth too. Like you said, depth. They weren't our top guys, but to get a Castillo, you're gonna have to part ways with one of the top guys.
But that goes back to what we have at depth. Shortstop. Go ahead, trade away Vargas, trade away Sweeney if you got to, and go get me that number 2. Give me that MVP. I'm shocked he hasn't had Oakland on the phone for Manaea. I don't know why
because
not.
They probably still want Volpe.
So the A's don't have to trade those guys. They are still under control. Like, Manaea is going to cost a lot at the deadline, though. So they may be holding on to that.
Depends
they may
on
be
his
getting deals now.
performance.
Depends if he falls apart. I mean, he's injury. Both those
Yeah.
guys are injury
Was
prone guys. I mean, they're pitchers.
Mhm.
I mean, they're gonna. I mean, if they turn around, they do one like they tweak something. I mean, that the price drops.
We also don't know now with the situation of the Mets now. Who knows? Steve actually might go do something crazy over there, and then the Athletics may be like, "Yes, take them all."
In order for Steve Cohen to do that, they're going to be taking their number one guy, which is Francisco Alvarez. Then they got a shortstop that's on the way too. I mean, other than that, the Mets kind of got the Mets farm system. They shredded a lot of those guys, a lot of players from that farm system. So I mean, they weren't that good. I didn't think they were good to begin with. They had a couple guys at the top, and then they traded off a bunch of pieces since then. Pete, what's his name? Pete Crow Armstrong or something like that.
Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, they got rid of Jared Kelnick a few years ago. I mean, Seattle just
He didn't amount to
stole
anything
them.
in Seattle though.
The first time up he didn't. He came back and he was doing it.
He hit like 300 when he came back.
Yeah, he's doing it.
I think if the Mets, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What were you going to say, Paul?
I just think if the Mets offered Brett Batley, the third baseman they got.
Brett Beatty.
Yeah, Beatty, that's his name. I couldn't think of his name. And like Matt Allen or something like that, maybe a couple other pieces, they could do it.
Ooh.
They could do it.
Because those guys are closer to the big leagues than our depth pieces are.
Right.
Like Duran and Josh Smith and those guys
Oakland
are ready
wants
for
to hang
the big
around.
leagues.
Oakland always wants to just hang around a little over 500, give that fan base a little bit of like momentum and hoorah, hey, we're really close. And that's what they have to do. They have to get the guys that are a little bit closer.
Well, once that new stadium comes in for Oakland, I mean, they might be able to jump up more than $35 million. They can get up to the $40 million range.
There might be some dark horses too in that race for like a Monta Manaya. What if the White Sox suffer some? Yeah. What if the White Sox suffer some injuries in that starting rotation? You know that it's a really good one, but what if a guy like a Giolito goes down or a Dallas Keuchel goes down? Hey, they might be in that market and they have the prospects to do it. So it'll be. I'm looking forward to the season.
You know, the one I'm really worried about it would be if it would be Tampa Bay if they turn around. They want it because they've made some deals with Oakland before. They got a lot of pieces there.
The one I'm really worried about would be Boston.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Aldi, which breaks down. Nick Pavetta's got to prove it again. They got Tanner Houck.
Sale is falling apart.
Yeah. Tanner Houck is probably on an innings limit or pretty close. You got to worry about those guys. Like they have a lot of minor leaguers. Their depth is really good.
Yeah.
They can send over Jeter Downs over there. I mean, they're not. Tristan Casas is pretty much untouchable for him.
Yeah,
Marcelo Myers.
They got a couple outfielders that are Rule 5 eligible that they didn't lose. That are still in their organization. Jimenez, and there's one more. I can't think of his name. So they got the pieces that they'd be able to do it. And our buddy Garrett Whitlock, even if he's in the rotation, he's going to be on an innings limit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why won't they go get a guy who's going to give them 180 innings if they're in it at the end?
It's gonna be very heated come the deadline. Those two guys are gonna be extremely what's the word I'm looking for?
Coveted.
Coveted. Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, but at that point too, I mean, what if then you at Cincinnati might throw Luis Castillo in the mix too. You start dangling that one out there, then the market goes bananas.
Three guys.
Those three guys right there, and especially what Billy Beane will do is if he's smart, he'll turn around and goes, "Here's Manaya is right here. You got Montas right here. You give me what the best offer from Manaya, best offer from Montas, and go from there. We're not packaging them together. You're gonna go individual right now. Give me your best three guys, top end. Give me your best three off.
I don't know
three guys
why,
in your offer.
but I don't know why, but I have a funny feeling one of them goes to the Texas Rangers or the Houston Astros.
They would have to overpay.
Houston doesn't. Yeah, because it's in. Yeah, I mean that's in division right there. But man, Houston.
They traded Kendall Graveman and Abraham Torres.
Toro, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but you got to remember
that's an overpay.
Houston, but Houston doesn't have the farm system it used to have. They gutted that farm system. They gave a ton over to Arizona when they got Greinke. They gave a few pieces out for Garrett Cole already. I mean, they graduated a good
Oakland
amount,
doesn't
but
really. Oakland doesn't care about their fan base, so I could see them doing an in-division trade.
Mm. That'll be
yeah,
tough. I think
but
it'll be
if they're going to
overkill.
do in division, if they're going to do that, they were going to want good pieces back. They're not just going to want
Not necessarily. Look at the Sonny Gray trade. They took James Kapralian, Jorge Mateo, and Dustin Fowler. One guy had a banged-up shoulder, one guy had a blown-out knee, and one was a 4A player.
But all those guys were our top 10 prospects. Were within our top 10. So,
But what I'm saying is, Dan, they still took two guys that were injured and one that could barely break the major leagues. Not to mention AAA.
You're right,
That's
but
the point that I'm trying to make.
and Caprilian's now locking their number 3 or number 4
we'll see
in their
how
rotation.
We'll see how his health holds up, but yeah, he's got the potential.
I mean, he's been there since last year.
Shoved balls down our throats last year. I mean,
I mean, Jorge Mateo got them something else because they moved Mateo down to San Diego. They got I forgot who they got for Mateo when they moved Mateo.
This is like
probably a bag of rosin.
But that's the thing. Prospects are so like hit or miss. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's almost like when we got David Robinson and Todd Frazier from Chicago for Blake Rutherford, Ian Clarkson, and I think there was one more in there, Tito Paulo, I believe his name was.
Yeah,
that didn't work out. I mean, they just DFA'd Blake Rutherford a couple days ago.
Oh, they did. I didn't even hear that.
Yes,
he can't hit.
What? I didn't know that.
No, I missed that one.
3 days ago. Yeah.
He could barely bat above
They
200.
DFA'd him. I think he made it through waivers today, so he'll be back to AAA. But I mean, no one's claiming him after getting him DFA'd. Obviously,
and he was Chicago's like top 5 or
so
maybe early on, but then I mean he's dropped down. I mean he was.
When
he was in the top. I don't even think he was
like the top
30
6. So I think he was like the 6th ranked prospect in their system when that trade went down.
But think about that. He was picked 18 in 2016, and now he's DFA'd, kind of just almost a quad A player. Prospects
Look
are
at Greg Bird.
Well, they can exactly. It's prospects are just
Ian
that.
Clarkin was a first rounder, and he bounced. He went to Chicago, then he went to the Cubs. I think he made his way all the way out to San Diego or something like that. And
Colorado now, I think.
Ty Hensley was another one.
Yankee Twitter's gonna hear this. They're gonna go like, "Oh my gosh, see, we should have been traded all of our prospects away." You guys might want to stop where you guys are going right now.
Man, I don't care what Twitter says.
I'm just against trading away like the top 5. Otherwise, goodbye.
Yeah. So what do we think about
if we use our depth to get what we need to, it's great. But while keeping the pieces we need, like Paul mentioned Trey Sweeney before. And the only bad thing about Trey Sweeney is that you can't trade him until the trade deadline this year. He can't be traded right now because he was a draft pick last year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as much as we're talking about Sweeney being part of the deals, and I know Paul's talked about it before, and him and I have had side conversations about this. I know, and it's even Austin Wells. I mean, both those guys are big. Are trade. I think Trey Sweeney is a big trade bait. I also think Trey Sweeney is going to move off to third base because he's a big. He's big. He's going to be too big for shortstop.
Yeah, and also you got Andrew Chaparro that you could dangle in the trade too if you wanted to.
He's got to build his value.
I keep going back to Vargas. I think that's the move.
Or him.
He's stuck at shortstop unless you move him to a corner outfielder. Right. He's a speed guy.
He's a speed guy. Move him to center field. Speed guy, switch hitter.
I have a million center fielders coming up.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
that can't play center field.
Yeah, but how many of them are sticking in center field? I mean, we'll go back to the conversation before. Is Dominguez going to really be the center fielder now? I mean, he dropped the weight.
No.
Instead of talking about all these hypotheticals for the future right now, let's do a little bit more closer future. The month of April. What do you guys? Because me and Danny had this conversation already. So I want to know what you guys' opinion are for the month of April. What do the Yankees need to do in April? Because I mean, me and Danny have our opinions, and we want to know yours.
Make it out of April with only 3 or 4 losses.
Make it out of April not injured prone. No one get hurt. Everyone healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully ride that out for like 2 months. Win 42 games.
Honestly, I want to.
And go from there.
I think that what the first two series that we play against the Red Sox and Toronto.
Yep.
And then I was trying to pull up the rest of their schedule. I was trying to pull up their schedule to see how the rest of April looks for them.
I can
But-
pull that up right now, sir.
I already have it up right now. I'm trying to see if I can do a screen share for you guys. You guys got it?
No.
Mm-mm.
Gotta love the dead air right now. All right.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
There we go.
Yeah,
There we
there
go.
we go.
all right. So, all
When
right.
you-
All right. I see what you're saying there. So,
So when you look at mid-April, you play Baltimore, Detroit, Cleveland, Baltimore, Kansas City. That ends from mid-April down.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
have
think
to
And then the Blue
just go
Jays.
you got to
down.
win 75% of those games.
You have
Those
to.
games, minimum of 75%.
You got to sweep Cleveland, sweep
Mhm.
Baltimore, sweep Kansas City, and Detroit,
Kansas
and
City.
then maybe
Kansas, the
split
Royals.
with
Listen, Royals are not
Toronto.
gonna. Royals are not gonna
May
be
get
easy
tough.
to
At the
beat.
end of the month. The Warriors at the end of the month.
All right, then look at May. I mean, that gets tough. So you have to stay healthy. You're gonna have to beat everything in April.
Yeah.
I think one of the bigger things you're gonna have to do is you can't get embarrassed by. I think you
Jesus.
can't be embarrassed by Toronto because I think Toronto can definitely embarrass this team to no end.
Especially at home.
Yeah,
We're going to be playing playoff baseball like half of
Start-
the first half of the season.
Right.
Yes.
but I think you
That's
got to come out the gates
insane.
hot against the Red Sox. You got to bury them right off the bat. And I know that's not Boone's big thing is that he wins 2 and then the third one he kind of he punts the game. He's
That's
got
when you
to
rest everyone.
Yeah, he's got to put his foot down. He's got to put his foot on the throat, and he's got to push forward. Then when it comes to Toronto, you cannot get embarrassed by Toronto because Toronto they got too much firepower on that team. That offensive team can just blow you out of the water.
I agree. I think you have to intimidate them. Go in and show Vladdy Jr. and show Bo that you are the AL East.
Exactly. Even if that means throwing hot fastballs high and tight to them, just get them just
But how would you feel right now? Let's say we sweep the Red Sox and we do 3 out of 4 against the Jays, and then all of a sudden they go down to Baltimore, and then like we lose 2 out of 3.
That's gonna happen.
Mhm.
It's gonna happen. It's
oh
He's
that's
gonna-
what I'm, oh yeah.
The Orioles, we need a win. We need
But,
to beat
but look what they did last year against the Orioles. I mean, they were if they beat the if they turn around, they were beating the Orioles like they should have last year. There was the end of the season would not have been so tight as it was.
so
They
look at
probably
that.
would. You know what I mean?
It's like
From
the only team I will give it that they could have. I will let the L go for it. Let's say is Detroit, and that is just because of weather. That is it. Because we're going to be at Detroit, and don't know, it could be a damn snowstorm for all we know, like it always is in that damn stadium. So
From the 9th to the 17th, there's no days off. So you know for a fact he's gonna rest at least 2 or 3 regulars during that Baltimore series.
okay,
Whether if it's Judge, whether it's Stan, Donaldson, Gallo, one of those guys, maybe even 2, get those games off. You still have to win with the backups in.
exactly. 100%. We need a win the
And
back.
you can't even do the Scranton shuffle because there really isn't anybody that's going to be on this 28-man roster that has options really outside of Van Duhar and Heel.
If he makes the roster.
Yeah,
That's my issue with this
Dude.
roster as well.
they got
There are-
28 slots. Heel and Andujar are making this roster.
They're all
I'm not sure if Mickey's gonna make it or not. If Marwin
think he
makes it, I don't
does.
think he. Yeah, if Marwin makes it, I don't think Mickey.
You know
makes
why
it.
I think it? Because I think the 2 guys that get DFA'd are Castro and Jolie Rodriguez.
They gave Jolie like $2
Really?
million.
Yes.
Julie Rodriguez. I could see
They don't need 3. They don't need 4 left-handed pitchers in that bullpen. And not to mention, no disrespect to Rodriguez, but he's kind of not that great, in my opinion.
No disrespect, but I'm going to disrespect you.
I don't think his level of talent is there. I just don't.
Yeah, but
Right.
he was able. He got
That's
people out. He would get people out.
I
That's
mean,
what you
Dude,
need.
every
And
time I saw
lefty-
him pitch, he was giving up
Hold on.
bombs to people.
I got it. They're gonna the kid they just picked up from Boston, Rosario. He's on the 40-man. He's going there too.
Yeah.
So there's your two. There's your two, LaCastro and that kid. Goodbye.
I'm listening. I just know this. Like for April, we need to be fire because if we don't be fire in April, it's gonna like the losses that we have in April are gonna bite us in the butt to making it for the number 1 seed for the bye.
So I think those first 7 games, we need our A-plus lineup out every
Mhm.
7, like all those games.
Mhm.
And then you could go to Baltimore and give JD a rest, kind of move things around. But those first 7 games, A-plus lineup every day. And I hope Boone has that urgency. I feel like he's going to go down the path of what Mark was saying a little bit earlier, kind of punting and not giving the C lineup out on the 3rd day, giving Judge a day. Like, nah, Judge, Stanton, Rizzo, everybody is playing every day. Give me 7 straight games of going hard in the paint, set the tone to start
Not
off
gonna happen.
the season.
Not gonna happen.
I know that's
Boone-
what you want, though.
You
That's what
want
you
that,
want.
but
I
Boone,
love
well,
it.
I
Boone's
agree,
not
it's
going to make that
gonna
decision.
happen.
Boone's not going to make that decision anyway. It's going to be like I always said. It's going to be Cashman and the analytic team is going to tell Boone, oh, Judge isn't playing this game, or today Stan's going to be on the bench, or he's going to be DHing, and Donaldson's going to be in over there, and then DJ's not going to. DJ's going to be sitting because
It's gonna be something like this. It's gonna be something like this. Oh, Judge has a 15-game hitting streak. Yeah, cool. You can sit the bench.
Agreed. That happens every time.
That's probably
You know
one of
what I
the
mean?
worst
Like-
things. It's like you got a guy on a streak. He's on a hot streak. Just
Nah, he needs a day off.
yeah. Once the hot streak's done, then give him the day off. How about that?
Yeah. Alex, what's your opening day lineup look like?
Oh, we talked about that you and me already before. I didn't even pull anything up for that one. I'm so sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Come back to me on that one.
So
All right,
let me
Mark.
ask you guys a question. Are you guys Aaron Boone fans?
no. Well,
They're
Danny
not.
is.
Tolerant of Aaron Boone.
I am. I'm of the ilk that he has a really hard job. That we feel like as fans we know what we're talking about, but once we get into that room, it's just completely different. And he's a baseball guy, and he has a tough job. He has a tough job. He has a tough job.
I agree. No, Danny, don't get me wrong. I agree with you. Like, there's
Yeah.
there's only a certain amount of people who can do the job that he signs up for. I don't think that he was the man that should have gotten the job to begin with, and I still don't
Right.
think he should have had the job or gotten a new contract after everything he's done. He has not proven himself that he knows what he's doing as a manager. We've pointed out that the first couple of years that he had a strong staff behind him to kind of guide him along the way.
Mhm.
And now that staff kind of went their own separate ways 2 years ago, and then most of them have gone, this past off season during the changes. Then I don't think that he has taken the necessary steps forward. Is he brought in to do what Cashman wants him to do? Yes, he communicates with the players. He keeps them upbeat. They like him. He communicates the message that the front office wants to be delivered to the media. That's what he's there for. But X's O's, things like that. Why do you think you have Luis Rojas there? Why do you still have the bench coach still there?
Here-
Carlos
Mendoza.
Mendez. Yes, you're right, Mendoza. Like,
Here's my
those
thing.
guys are managers in the making.
Here's my thing.
They're right there. They're ready to take over a managerial team. Rojas already had was with the Mets already. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Right. And my thing is, he actually had no coaching experience or managing experience even before coming to Boston or coming to New York. That's tough as it is. Like, you have no experience going in.
But he's been in baseball his entire life.
It doesn't
so
matter.
is everybody else.
Aaron
It was all these other managers.
Aaron Boone Aaron Boone is here for two reasons. One, because he does whatever Brian Cashman tells him to do, and two, because he took Tim Wakefield deep to left field in the 2003 ALCS
Thank
in Game
you.
7.
Exactly.
That is the only two reasons why that man is still the manager of the New York Yankees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The players like him. I guarantee if the players didn't like him, Boone
I-
would be out the door.
But the
I think
players like
they
Joe,
like
but the players
him.
like Joe Girardi. I think I was reading that today. That
Gary,
the player,
Gary didn't like Gary. Gary didn't like him.
well,
No.
yeah, well, because he
tough
was
like
too tough with him. But I was reading the other day that the players like Joe Girardi after the Yankees still got rid of him. You know what I mean? You had
Yeah.
Derek Jeter, the captain of the team, wanting Joe Torre still there after 2007.
7.
Guess what? Joe Torre wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So
I would have
Yeah,
more
you have a
respect for
point
Aaron Boone. I would have more respect for Aaron Boone if he would just sack up and tell this front office to stay in their lane and let him run the game on the field and just
But he
completely
doesn't
go
believe
against
that,
whatever
though.
they tell him to do. I'm saying,
No.
but what I'm saying is, I said I wish he would just do that.
No, but he
That-
doesn't
but
have that mindset. That's not his
That's
mindset.
why I don't like him.
He
but
has
that's what a
collaborative.
lot of these managers like that. Look at we'll talk. Let's talk about the Rays, for example. Kevin Cash is told by the powers to be that this is what your lineup's going to be. Kevin Cash has the cachet, no pun intended now, but he can manage the game when it's time, from inning one, from the first pitch to the last pitch. He can manage that game. Aaron Boone has proven that he can't manage it there and gets outmanaged by tons of managers at every step of the way.
But see, for
When you
Kevin
got
Cash,
when you got Andrew Heaney starting in the Field of Dreams game, I mean, really, bro? Really?
Is that his fault or is that
That was that.
Cashman's fault
I
for
won't.
giving
I'm
him
not
that
saying that's a Boone
roster?
fault. That's a Cashman fault right there.
Yeah.
I'm
But-
all, like I said, I'm all on the bandwagon that Boone does not make the decisions. That he is told what the decisions are, and he has to go out there and make those decisions. You think that let's go back a couple of years now, 2020. Do you think that it's an Aaron Boone decision to turn around and put Debbie Garcia out as an opener, and then have Ja Happ coming out after that?
I feel
I mean,
like that was a Larry Rothschild thing.
Cashman straight up said, "Oh, Aaron Boone was part of that decision. He was all on board with that." Who in their right mind thinks that Aaron Boone would turn around and have that kind of idea? Number one, and then two, go along with that.
I think that's a Larry Rothschild thing, trying to, outsmart the Rays, and it just wasn't happening.
I thought that was
Larry
a
wasn't
Cashman.
there in 20.
I thought that was a Cashman move to try to outsmart the Rays, and I thought that was his analytic team to outsmart them.
Larry
They got
Rothschild
outsmarted
was going up in
because they turned around. They
2019.
sat all those left-handed bats. They didn't put the lefty bats in, and they got played.
Yep.
here's the
That was
thing though
terrible.
about Kevin Cash. Kevin Cash also coached I think it was 2 or 3 years under Terry Francona with Brad Mills in Cleveland. That's great experience.
Yeah.
Aaron Boone came from the broadcast booth.
Exactly.
I think that's why I can't get behind Aaron Boone. I still can't get behind him. No coaching
You can't
experience.
manage
Give
a
me
ham
somebody-
sandwich.
Yeah, give me somebody that's like had some coaching experience, whether if it's like a couple years under like a great manager, or even if he comes from the minor leagues. I'm just not a fan of Boone.
How many guys like that are around nowadays? Maybe Bam Bam Euland, and so I guess you wanted him to be, because he was under Bruce Bochy for forever.
Absolutely,
Bruce Bochy's
why not?
a Hall of Fame manager, but he's a coach in our staff now. So I think Boone
Not
has a
calling
lot
any
more
shots.
support. They have to all be pulling the same rope, man. I've been saying this since day one. This is a thing that everybody needs to be doing. They need to be on the same page, right? So Boone takes collaborative effort. He takes into account what the analytics department has to say, baseball ops. Ultimately, he's going to be making the lineups. He's going to be making the on-field decision. Whether it works out or not, it's on him. What happens on the field is on Boone.
You
So-
know what?
Well, then if it's on Boone, he should have been let go after last season. See you later. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna say this right now. I can't wait for about 5, maybe even 10 years from now, when we get the book from Aaron Boone, so we actually can know the details of what happened in there. Because we're all just saying like what we think, like, oh, we think this, we think that, we think. Like we're gonna find out in about 10 years is like, oh, the all tell book from Aaron Boone, his autobiography, and it's like, yeah, Cashman was in charge the whole time. We're like, oh, okay, we knew
Yeah, but
it.
do you think?
Alright.
I don't think Aaron Boone will do that, because I think once this managing thing is done for him, that he's going to go back to the booth. He's going to go back and be a broadcaster again. I don't. I think
he's gonna have. You're gonna tell me he's not gonna try to do an auto. He's not gonna take the name of being Aaron Boone, that he was a Yankee player, that he was a coach for the Yankees, that he was in the booth in 20, 30 years from now, and do some sort of autobiography, a tell-all book. Come on,
not until he's done with the game in totality. Look what Joe Torre did. Joe Torre didn't write that. Yeah, he didn't write that book when he was managing the Dodgers. He wrote when he was done with everything. He said, "Oh, we're gonna go back to the Yankee years," and then turn around and just light a fire on top of Brian Cashman's name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, light a fire. You know, poured the gasoline and lit a fire on A-Rod's name as well. Was trash.
What do you guys think
held
about,
nothing back. Started trashing people left and right. Kept the people he loved, kept them in high esteem, and trashed other people.
That was about 5-10 years, right?
He managed for 10 years.
I'm talking about the book came out about 5-10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. I don't care about anything else but the future now.
So you guys think Judge takes this extension?
Well, let's not just do the extension. What do you think the extension is, Paul? Let's go.
Well,
Paul
it's already been reported.
What hasn't been reported?
What?
I saw 30 a year, right?
7 years, 30 a year.
Yeah.
So 265.
That they offered it that friendly?
That's what John Heyman is saying, and a couple of others.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought it was gonna. I didn't think the Yankees were going to go to the 7th year. I thought they were going to try to stick to 6, maybe with the.
I think they have.
Well, it depends on which article you read. One article is saying 7 years at 30, and then the other one saying 6 years at 30. So it's
the 30 years. The 30 years. I really thought I thought it was going to definitely happen. I thought they would start at 5 at 30 a year, and then kind of bump it up a little bit from there. I mean, don't forget, Judge is 30 years old. I mean, they can't have a crazy long year.
No, but he's gonna want it. And my thing is this: is from what you're reading, Dave? Is it an option for the 7 years, or is it?
Let me pull it up.
I think one person's reporting it's 6 at 30 year, probably an option for the 7th year. And I think he's saying that someone else. I think Heyman's saying that it's straight up 7 years for 30 a year.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So NJ.com is reporting that they were expected to make an offer and believe they did so last weekend, said John Heyman. My understanding is that they're willing to pay in the range of $30 million a year, maybe over, but the years are going to be the question. And my belief is that they're not going to want to go near Mike Trout, Mookie Betts. The Yanks want to keep an extension around 6 or 7 years, the latter of which would take Judge to his age 37 season. He turns 30 next month.
So
sign me up for that.
If you do a 7-year deal, knowing that the salary cap is going to go up, can we start it smaller at maybe 25 this coming year and work it up to, unfortunately, paying him a ton of money at 37?
See, here's the crazy thing, though. He filed for his arbitration at $21 million. And the Yankees countered it at 17. So it's like, if you're planning on doing this extension, why are you splitting hairs over $4 million? Like, I just don't.
It's semantics. It's semantics at this point. They're working on the extension. Yeah. They were going to go to arbitration no matter what.
I think it turns into an Albert Pujols-like deal, unfortunately, where the backside of his career he gets paid a bunch of money and doesn't produce.
I'm okay with that.
Deal with Pujols, right? And I agree because the front side was a little smaller when he was producing, and the backside was huge.
Mm-hmm. And it's like,
if we don't win a World Series within the next 7 years, we're in trouble. So Aaron Judge should produce. Aaron Judge should produce a World Series within these next 7 years, and then he could ride off into the sunset.
Let's make it to the World Series again first.
Yeah, got to get there.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, like I heard earlier on the radio earlier actually that Buster Olney was saying that what's it called, that he should be getting around 30 as well. I didn't hear it confirmed or anything like that, but like he was making a great case like that Aaron Judge is basically a union guy, and he's not gonna play the games and all that kind of stuff. Like, oh, I'm gonna give you the discount because I'm from you guys. He wants to get paid, and I'm gonna agree with it. It's like, and if
he deserves it, he's earned it.
This is his only contract that he's gonna go. This is the only time he's gonna have a conversation or a contract that he could get paid on.
Yes,
He came up
yeah,
to he came up
his
too
only
late.
one. But I'm not gonna blame the man that he went to college and got himself an education. I'm not gonna
Neither am I.
No,
like.
No. I'm
because
not.
he would
I'm
have been
not
an
blaming that
Oakland
either.
I
Athletic.
think helping him out right now for this scenario right now that he's not doing the stupidity like, okay, I'm gonna give you that hometown discount. Like, I'm sorry, he doesn't deserve no discount. You should pay him what he deserves.
And not only that, these kids coming through the minor league system now are going to benefit hitting the major leagues sooner than later because you remember when that minor league realignment happened, they went from like 6 levels down to 3 or 4. When Judge came up through the minor leagues, there were like 3 different versions of A ball, then double A, then triple A. So that's why he got to the majors late, was because he had to go through all these ridiculous levels of the minor league system.
Well, I think they start them all out at low A ball anyway. So low, high.
Well, they used to start when they got drafted. They would start at short season Staten Island,
True.
and then
Yeah.
go to either
Pulaski or
Pulaski.
Pulaski, and then Tampa, then Charleston. And well, there was
It was
one below
It was
Trenton.
Charleston River Dogs, then Tampa. Tampa was high. Then it went to Trenton. Then Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
And
They've
now
been
we're
Scranton
playing
Wilkes-Barre for a
minor
long
league
time.
nerding.
He started in the minors at 22, so that's
Yeah.
already sort of a disadvantage, especially when you see a lot of
Mhm.
these top prospects that are 18, 19, 20.
Mm-hmm.
Comparatively, Jason Dominguez is 19 years old, and
Right.
he was playing the same
Playing
level
against
as Aaron
22-year-olds.
Judge.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
he's going to be in at a younger age than Eric.
Yep. All right, Alex, you ready for that lineup?
Yes, my lineup is actually going to go DJ at first, and Donaldson, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Gallo, Torres, IKF maybe in it. I'm not sure yet. I'm really debating on between Gabriel Torres and IKF. If not, then it's going to be Hicks. Is going to be in. It's a gift. It's an iffy between those two. Then I'm going to have Hicks, and then Higgy at the end because Higgy sucks.
Actually, not really, dude. He's hit 5 home runs in spring training.
It's
Yeah, but
spring-
then he's gonna do well, and then all of a sudden he's not gonna hit his weight again.
Hey, man, if we can get Higgy to bat 235 this year, I will take it. It is
Yeah,
more than Gary Sanchez gave us.
That's true.
I think 235 is asking for a lot from Higgy right now.
I don't think it is.
I think Higgy will get you. Will has got that special week in him that he's gonna go off. Then he comes back
Like
down to earth.
last year.
But he does it all the time, where he goes off and then he comes back down to earth. Then he comes back up. Then he does it again. He goes, "Oh, why aren't we playing him more?" And then he comes back down to earth. He is a.
I think you're gonna see a different, consistent Kyle Higashioka now that he's gonna be playing every single day. Or
I hope you're
every
right,
single
Dave.
day.
I really hope you're right.
I am feeling really optimistic about it, to be honest. Because, I mean, Tyler Wade, same thing. It's not that he was a bad player. Like, people are saying all over Twitter that he's a horrible player. He's not a bad player. He batted 270 in the second half last year. He just needs to play every single freaking day. That's just the same with anybody. You're not going to be good at something if you only play like once or twice every 10 to 15 days.
It's going to be one of those seasons, I think, because we're going to be having the rotation of, oh, you have a day off, oh, you have a day off, oh, you have a day off. So that consistency that you want, that you keep preaching for, it's not going to happen.
Well,
Yeah,
catchers.
because
I mean,
now,
catchers
like,
inherently
load
always need to have
management
time
and all
off.
that shit.
Oh, I'm not saying that, but I'm just talking about in general the whole team as well, because he wants consistency all around.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're gonna do the whole thing where, okay, well, you play too many days. Yeah, you get your time off. But I think that the catcher's position once the other catcher Ben the Hulk comes back, he's gonna
The Spartan.
jacked. Jesus, he's jacked. But I
The
think they're
gladiator.
I think they're gonna platoon. I think that's gonna be a platoon situation.
That's
It's gonna-
fine. I don't care. Just someone don't give up a game on a pass ball. That's all I'm asking for. And tag the guy out that's sliding into home plate, please. You know,
And that's what Higgy and Rorty are going to do. They're going to provide good defense. They're going to hit homers, and they're going to hit a $180. You know, that's just don't expect a lot from that 9 hole other than an occasional homer.
No, but that's what everyone signed up for this year. Everyone signed up for more better defense. You know, we were talking about before. IKF is a better defensive player than who we had at shortstop last year. Saying you said it before that Donaldson and Gio are equivalent for defense. I think everybody on that infield will all their numbers are going to increase with Rizzo being at first base for them. I think that's a given in and of itself. You know, I think Glaber's numbers are going to be better. You know, wherever he plays, even the 20 games he gets at shortstop. You know, when our hearts are stopping every time he gets a ground ball. But you know, I think if Rizzo can tell him like he told Rugden, like, just get the ball over to me, I'll get it. You know, that's all you got to do. That'll give Glaber the confidence that he needs. I think that
I think we'll be fine as long as everyone's not eating the bubble gum that's stuck underneath the bench in the dugout and getting COVID for 2 weeks in the latter part of the season. I think we'll be fine.
So I want to make 2 points though. One was can Higgy stay to the rigors of playing every day or pretty close? I mean, the guy hasn't played every day, been in the big leagues for what, 4 years? So that's a concern. Like towards the back end of the year, is he going to wear down a little bit? And as far as the COVID thing, we don't know who can go to Toronto too. That's also a concern that I was having.
Well, I guess we'll find out on April 13th, won't we?
No. They play in the Bronx.
They play at home. Yeah.
Or whatever. I'm sure we'll find out when that time comes. Which
Find
is
out
so
in May.
stupid.
Find out in May.
Don't even get me going on that one.
Yeah,
Hometown players can't play, but a visiting team that's unvaccinated can come.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? What
It's
are we doing?
just a little concerning.
No, but never mind the 50,000 people that are sitting in the stands wearing no masks. Like,
I agree.
And all stand right next to each other, whether they're vaccinated.
outside. You're
Alex, you're on
outside.
mute.
I'm not going to disagree with you with that at all on that, Dave. Okay, like that's going to happen, but that's been lifted, so that's not a problem realistically anymore. The problem is going to be May 2nd. That's the problem when we're trying to go over the board. Then we'll find out.
Wait, they lifted the if you're not vaccinated, you can't play in New York if you're playing for the Yankees or the Mets.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even Brooklyn, because Kyrie Irving
thank
plays it.
God.
They lifted that. That's gone. That you don't have to worry about that no more.
Mm-hmm.
No, I feel bad
So
about
the only problem is the 9 or so games over in Toronto we got to worry about, and that's more important in my opinion now because if it's a whole Stanton and a Judge, that's not going to look pretty for us.
Well, the rumors have always been that Judge is not vaccinated. We all
I
know
thought
that
the whole team got vaccinated last year.
they were the first. They were one of the first teams that hit the 80% marker, and once you do that, you didn't have to wear the masks anymore. So they also were the ones with the Johnson one, the one shots, and that's why that wasn't as effective as getting Moderna or Pfizer.
I heard different though for Judge about the vaccine because didn't he go to Hawaii and then like Hawaii or something like that? And he go vaccine.
You have to be vaccinated to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because I went and we had to show our vaccination cards and get special wristbands and dude, it was a whole. I feel like I was going to another country. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, yeah, didn't Judge get married in Hawaii or something?
He did.
Yeah.
So that answers that question.
Yeah. I mean, Rizzo turned around and said it's not gonna be a problem for him to go to Toronto. So if it's not gonna be a problem for him, then that's that too. So I mean, like everyone said, we'll see the first stuff on in May.
Do we have any polls this week?
Maybe one.
You know what? I got a question for everyone here. I was reading this. We were talking DFA a long time ago. We were talking Rule 5 drafts, right? And we're not having it this year. And I know Dave and I were talked about it before. I was reading. Here are the names for next year that are going to be Rule 5 eligible. We got the wonderful Anthony Siegler. We have Alex Vargas, Jake Sanford, Ryder Green, Ken Waldachuk, Hayden Wisniewski,
Ouch.
Randy Vasquez, Mitch Spence, and then TJ Sekema. So with those names,
should be on that list too.
What happened?
Brandon should be on that list too.
I don't know how that's going to play out next year.
He's eligible this year.
he is, but I don't know if they're gonna make them eligible next year or whatnot.
Well,
We know,
people that once you're eligible, you're eligible. You don't lose eligibility unless I'm wrong on this.
As
No,
far
but
as
if
I
you,
know,
but
you're still eligible next year.
all those names. So everyone who didn't go this year, so like the Josh
Exactly.
Bros and Brandon are
Mhm.
going to be on that list. But
Right.
those new names right there, there's some names on there that they really got to take a look at. Who do you think they protect next year?
Sick 'em up.
Wisniewski? No, I don't
Wisniewski,
think so.
Waldachuk.
Wisniewski and Waldachuk, and I think that's pretty much
But
about
yeah,
it.
definitely those two.
And Vargas. I think Vargas
Oh,
gets
and
traded.
Vargas.
I still think Vargas gets moved.
I think I'm with you on that. I think either which way. I think that I don't think they protect Vargas because not if they don't trade him, I still don't think so because he's so far down
Away.
in the minors. Like he's so far away. I think Vasquez might. There's a shot Vasquez might
Yes.
get protected as well.
I think those three: Wisniewski, Waldachuk,
Waldachuk.
Vasquez.
Yeah.
And I don't see Siegler having a huge year, although we know his character is up there. I'm not sure how that translates to the Yankees want to put another catcher on the 40-man roster.
He's
And
barely
those other
batting above
guys.
200.
Yeah. TJ Sycamore, he needs to be healthy. He hasn't
Yeah.
been healthy yet. So Mitch Spence got good stuff, but is he big league ready? I don't think so. So
It's just
Waldachuk, you've seen what he can do already.
because you have
Waldachuk and Wisniewski definitely got to get protected.
Sycamore and Siegler, both first round draft picks, losing them. So again, we didn't draft really well.
Yeah, but
No.
that's the first rounders for a while. That's been the story of the Yankees. The Yankees' life was that they don't draft. They don't draft well, but they pick a lot of guys up in the back end. Kind of
Have
like
we ever
even
had
like
a
even like
successful-
the international side. I mean, they could there's been plenty of times where they gave the big splashes for the money, but like a Sevy was not a big guy, big signing. Medina wasn't a big signing. Even Robbie Cano wasn't a big signing when they got him. They were
Davey and Medina got the same amount of money.
Yeah.
In the draft. Speaking of that, Nelson Gomez, that's a name that Yankee fans should be aware of. He just got released. He was part of that big international draft a couple of years ago, and he's turned out to be whack, for lack of better terms. Sorry, Nelson.
What year is this?
This is about 6 years ago at this point, right?
No.
Oh,
They whack.
oh yeah.
Bro, I
I'm
still
an
use
old
that
dad.
term. I still use that term, dude. It's all good. It's whack.
Yeah. This is what it is.
So outside
my
of Jeter,
daughter,
have
Alex.
I feel like I'm in a dare. I feel like I'm in a dare meeting right now. Whack is whack, guys.
The Yankees are pretty lucky though. Like with Lee Sigmund down in the Dominican and down on the islands, he does an awfully great job scouting the guys down there. And I think that was a big key. They've put a lot of money into scouting the islands, into scouting that area. Money, their scouts those down there. They got like a lot of high caliber personnel down there, always at games, always at exhibits, etc. And I think that's they make up for it because they don't do a very good job in the States.
Oh, absolutely, and I think having a top notch facility down there too, like one of the a pearl of a facility doesn't hurt either. I mean, before the Orioles got into the game of the international market, I mean, they would. I mean, they would just give the money away to every team that they made trades with, but. A lot of players would always say, okay, we know that we want to sign with such and such teams because they invest in their facilities down there. Whereas other teams like didn't have running water at one point. I think like the Orioles didn't even they had a facility. It was falling apart. So they didn't places like that didn't care.
All right, Mark, let's hear your lineup.
All right, my lineup is DJ. I want DJ at third base, batting first. I want Rizzo batting second, first base. I want Judge batting third, playing center. Stanton 4. in right field. Gallo 5 at left field. Donaldson DHing because I also heard he has, from what I heard, he has a sore shoulder right now anyway, so might as well put him on.
Which isn't going to be a problem, apparently.
Apparently, but you know what? Better safe than sorry. But I'd
Then
rather
shut
him.
your mouth.
Just put him at
shut up.
DH. So he's batting 6th. Then you got Glaber 7 at second base. IKF batting 8, and then the platoon of catchers at 9.
Yep. So I'll go DJ Judge and DJ at third, Judge in center, Rizzo at first, not Gallo. Stanton in right, hitting fourth. JD batting 5th, DH, and Gallo batting 6th and left. GT over at second. IKF batting 8th at short. And you got Higgy rounding out the order, batting 9th. Now, I feel like on opening day, Boone might go with one of those situations with Rizzo hitting leadoff and Judge hitting second and kind of going down that way.
If Boone has it his way, Higgy will be leading off.
Oh, God, Dave. This is going to be going on all season.
It's going to be a long season.
Sweet Jesus. We'll see. But I don't think it's going to be what we think. I don't think DJ is going to hit lead off on opening day. I have a strong feeling.
I don't. The way it's going, there's a possibility DJ's not playing opening day.
I don't think so. That's exactly what I was going to say right now. I don't think he is going to.
Are you guys out of your mind?
No,
DJ
I'm not
playing opening day.
It's either going to be DJ or Hicks not playing opening day.
Cool. Hicks can ride the pine.
Well, I mean, listen. The way most of us have put the lineup is that Hicks is riding the pine, but there's a there's a chance that if Danny thinks that Boone has a say, you never know what Boone does. But I think that with the way Cashman's going to put it, Cashman loves Aaron Hicks for some reason. He will put him in that lineup at some point.
You don't need Aaron Hicks getting injured and being out for 80 games on opening day.
It's a given that he's going to get injured.
You never know, dude.
Mr. Glass always gets injured.
He could cut himself shaving and miss 6 months.
You guys are harsh.
He could go to bed and sprain his wrist. Oh no, my neck is crinked because I slept wrong. I'm gone.
He could hurt his other wrist making a ham sandwich in the kitchen for all we know. I mean,
he can have the Jacoby Ellsbury mysterious injuries for 3 years.
Conducting baseball activities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Sevy's doing a pretty good job of that right now already.
No, Sevy had actually had the injuries. He had the surgeries.
Not only that, general soreness, and then shows up late to a bullpen session. Like, you forget what time his bullpen session was? Like, you forgot what time the game started 3 years ago?
Rest and recovery, man. Rest and recovery. That's what that was.
All right, I got an oddball question for everybody. Off baseball topic for a second. All-time favorite TV show?
Oh, man. I watch so much TV. I think the first show that came to mind was True Blood because I watched it twice. Like, I watched the whole season multiple times. So,
what was the question?
Like
all-time favorite TV show?
Sopranos.
Boy, that's a close second.
Damn.
I'm gonna go with True Blood.
Married with Children.
Ooh.
It's going old school on that.
Really,
okay.
I really taking it back.
Really fun.
It's really between 24 and Sons of Anarchy for me.
Oh.
I always like Sam Crow.
Yeah.
That's always great.
Man, our producer Manny said Breaking Bad, which is the incorrect answer.
Yes, thank you.
Yellowstone's pretty good too.
I've been meaning to watch that actually.
I've been meaning to watch that one too.
It's like Country Sopranos.
Okay,
it really is.
If it's a show
Kevin
that's
Costner.
recent, though, I will say my favorite TV show as of recently is The Boys.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Alex, you speak my language there. That's a great show.
Oh
If you
boy,
guys haven't
Season
seen-
3, June 3rd.
fire!
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen Power Book 4, it's really good. Force.
Yep.
That's a great one.
pretty-
But
Tommy.
my
pretty
favorite
dope.
all time one, which is the correct answer for everyone, is The Wire.
The
I've
what?
actually never seen The Wire.
Same.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, you
I've
guys.
seen like a couple episodes.
Mhm.
That's some hood DC
That's
DC
like-
stuff right there.
That's
like
all
some-
Baltimore,
Yeah.
all crazy. And you know,
Yeah.
it's the greatest show, but because the guy who wrote it, David Simon, is awesome, and he's coming out with a new miniseries on HBO starting on April 25th.
But it's kind of funny, Mark. Like you're basically asking us, and there's so many answers that we could put. We could even put like, oh my gosh,
I left it open. It's your personal interpretation, and then I tell you that you're wrong.
so many good shows. So many.
Cool story. But
Game
you're
of-
wrong. Next.
Game of Thrones was great, and
It had
then
a
they
horrible
ruined
ending.
it.
Yeah.
Terrible. They
Terrible
ruined
ending.
it. It was a great show. And all they had to do was certain things, and then they ruined it. They absolutely ruined it. Why is this guy stabbing? You know what? I just get angry talking about it. It's been like in the recess.
You get
of my
angry
memory
about a
for so
lot of
many
things.
years. You know, yeah, yo, bro. Like, what do you want me to say? But it's just what it is. Like, Game of Thrones, terrible ending.
Tell us how you feel about Aaron Boone again.
Yeah, seriously, Danny. By the way, you turned around and you ruined Game of Thrones for Manny. By the way, our producer should have put a spoiler alert at the front.
Come on, man. I'm like in the final season. Who stabbed who?
Don't worry about it. You'll be disappointed. Don't worry about
You had
it.
all
Just watch
pandemic
it.
shit this.
I'm sorry. I got
Yeah.
1,000 jobs, man. Like, it's not like I can watch every episode.
You had no work for the pandemic. There's nothing going on.
Listen, I had to find work. What do you think? I'm not gonna... Oh, man. Now I'm like,
Manny,
who the
don't
hell
waste
stabbed
your
who?
time.
Just watch Shameless.
Now, all right. Thank God I have.
No,
this
no, no.
question
Don't say
names out
anything.
there,
No, no, no. Don't say,
but
don't say anything.
You're wasting your
Anything.
time.
I
letting
just,
you know right now.
I just watched one of the greatest battles in the dark, and you're gonna tell me that I don't watch anymore. I'm wasting my time.
Yes,
Right.
it should have.
That battle was awesome though. That battle
Talk
was
to us
awesome.
next week. Just talk to us next week after when you're done. You got like,
No, we got Yankees baseball starting on Thursday. I'm done. I don't want-
you got like 3 more episodes left anyway.
Like Paul said, this team plays for what, Paul? 20 consecutive days, 17 consecutive days. It's like, oh my God. No, I'm good.
Don't waste your time.
Manny is turning off his TV until the 7th, everybody.
Well,
Season
Manny wasted
7,
his
the
time
way
with
it
Breaking
ended.
Bad. I mean, he could at least finish off Game of Thrones. Now.
Now watch. I only love Breaking Bad because I lived out actually in Albuquerque during its first season.
Oh God, that sounds
Yes,
miserable.
I lived basically like 3 blocks away from Walter's house.
Why would you live in Albuquerque?
My mother moved there with my uncle, and my uncle was born and raised in Santa Fe.
Oh shit!
And when I was there, I went to watch the Isotopes were still playing there. Or maybe they were still there. I'm not sure. But yeah.
It's kind of funny hearing that. I've only heard the Isotopes on The Simpsons. And they're a baseball team.
Yeah. They're a minor leaguer, I think, now for the Marlins, maybe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's not like that.
Who
No.
cares?
The
They-
Astros.
For the Marlins? No,
They're
for the
that far
Astros,
out
I
there?
think.
I don't know. The only thing I knew about New Mexico was going to like the alien exhibit, which was kind of cool, and then got into a car accident leaving New Mexico, going to Texas. So I have nothing but bad memories about New Mexico. Like there was some tumbleweed just kind of rolling around, and there was nothing there. So good
Yeah,
times. I hope you enjoyed yourself, Manny.
I want to go back.
I was there for 1 year and I actually left. I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
It's a nice place once you're ready to retire. I was 21. I wasn't ready to retire anything.
Hey Manny, what was the top you like out there? I get some good stuff I could get, or what?
What? In Albuquerque?
Yeah. Or
Hell
there's
no.
nothing in photography.
Hell no. Hell no.
F that.
Not worth your time.
I'm wasting my time then. Sorry, listeners from Albuquerque. I am not coming over.
I don't think
Do we
they
want to
you
talk
now.
about Brian Cashman's latest comments to the media?
On the Athletic, you mean when he would talk to the Athletic?
Oh yeah, well the Athletic.
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
when he talks about the
Let me
the
see if I can pull up
2017.
his comments real quick.
Dude, wait.
What did he
When I
say?
heard
That the
this, I
Yankees
was
are
like,
going to be in prime position for the World Series again?
No, he basically
No.
No, he
he's
talks about the
blaming
2017 Astros.
He's
Oh.
blaming
how they
17.
live rent
and
free
we
in
all
his
blame.
head.
Like, I'm sorry. It's like it's nice enough, but like he
Oh, here we
should
go. Oh
he
my
should have said
God.
something
Can we
else
just
after
move
that.
on from this? Like,
Exactly. Come on.
like,
It's not important.
like, is this the goal? Like,
Yeah.
this is what it is, man. Altuve knew the pitch, or whoever.
I
You
do
didn't want it. Never mind.
I do think there needs to be some
Oh, here we go.
accountability in roster construction
Damn.
and how
Anybody got a
everything
login?
went.
No.
Blocked me out. They knew we were gonna read it.
Yeah.
I might still have mine.
Here's my thing with this whole situation. He's blaming that 1 year. We haven't won since 2009. You can't just blame that
Thank
1 year.
you.
And before
Thank
that,
you.
you only won since the last one before that was 2000. So
Like,
you won
how you
one.
gonna blame-
You
you're
won
gonna-
one over the course of 22 years. You can't blame the Houston Astros for 1 year.
Mhm. Correct.
Yeah,
I
there needs to
mean-
be some accountability.
He's
I'm telling you,
he's
Paul, this
basically
is the new
saying
Yankee
that
standard now, right? It used to be 1 to 2, maybe even 3 years on trying to rebuild and trying to figure it out. It's been since 09.
12.
Like,
12
I got more
years.
gray hairs now than I can count. Like, this is becoming quite the 8 to 9 year journey.
Well, what really set me off about what he said was this line where he said, I get offended when I start hearing we haven't been to a World Series since 09. Well, guess what? You haven't been. It's a fact.
They're not wrong.
What are you
Right.
getting offended about?
I mean, you haven't even.
What are we doing here?
I am sorry that the ALCS is the primary goal here. Come on, bro.
I mean, even since 2010, we won what, 3 AL East titles?
Yeah, 9, 10,
That's
and
not
11, and
acceptable,
12.
guys. 3 AL East titles over 12 years. Not really acceptable.
Well, here's the question: do you think that all this accumulation of the fact that this is because this is Cashman's last year on this contract? Do you think
All
that
right,
you think
I
this?
don't think
You think
he
he's riding
is.
off in the sunset after this?
I don't
He'd be
think so.
fired.
All right, so
Cal
he
won't fire him.
says the only thing that stopped us was something that was so illegal and horrific. So I got offended when I started hearing we haven't been to the World Series since 09. Because I'm like, well, hey, I think we actually did it the right way. Pulled it down, brought it back up, drafted well, traded well, developed well, signed well. The only thing that derailed us was a cheating circumstance that threw us off.
What happened on
I'm
happened-
sorry. The Dodgers would have
happened to
thrashed them in the
18-19?
World Series.
What
And you're
happened?
trying to make us feel
No,
better. a week before
2017, the
season.
Dodgers would not have. We gave it to the Dodgers in 2017, just like gave it to them in 2018 and 19 or something like that. Dodgers weren't gonna do anything against us in 2017. Dodgers
They
weren't steamrolling at that point.
The Dodgers only really won what they won is because of the shortened season too. Like, let's be
What
real.
I'm saying is the Dodgers team in 2017 was better than the Yankees.
Yeah, and we're up for debate on that one.
And guys, and I love how the article notes at the bottom here that the Yankees had their own scandal.
Yes.
The Yankees had their
Which-
own technology.
Well,
misconduct.
obviously, it wasn't that good because it hasn't given us anything. So, I guess we're not banging the right trash cans.
By the way, I know this is probably off topic, right? But I think last week, Alex and Danny, I think we were talking about how we thought that DeGrom is that guy, but you saw today, shoulder tightness, right?
Yep.
Now he got shut down.
He's done.
That's not good, man. You haven't even started the season. Like,
Yeah, and hey man, if you use that link that I have in the chat, it's the Yankees are actually appealing the release of the Major League Baseball letter detailing the sign stealing findings.
Like I said, they must not be doing a good job at it.
Yeah, what the Astros were doing were after like the league changes, because I guess apparently it was a league wide issue, or at
Well, yeah,
least the Yankees, Red Sox, Astros were all doing some nefarious stuff, and the league changed certain aspects of it, and the Astros took it to another level.
well, yeah. I think it was during 2007. I think it was right before 2017. I think 2016. The Yankees got fined, and so did the Red Sox. 'Cause the Reds, they were all using like the Apple, the
The Apple
iPads or Apple
Watches.
Watches or whatever. Or the
That
Yankees
was
were
up in
using
Boston.
were
They
using
got
someone was using the phones as well. They were using the phones to the bullpen to relay stuff as well. So they, everyone got the letters like cut it out, but the Astros just kicked into another gear and went something completely different. They just
But
well,
start
what's
putting
funny
cameras
is
where
I
it
mean,
that
also, Mark, like we've seen this league, right? You can be the Astros and still keep your championship, and you can be the Boston Red Sox and cheat as well and still keep your championship.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I mean, if you're
I
gonna cheat,
I
at
have
least win.
some knowledge that the Red Sox had the Astros signs in the 2018 ALCS, so that was pretty much a known thing that the Red Sox were stealing signs in 2018.
well, yeah. I mean, their manager was only the bench coach for the team that got away with it. So yeah.
Yeah, but guys, don't forget this all kinds of this
Shocking.
isn't the first time this happened. I mean, the Blue Jays they were known Blue Jays up in Toronto. They were known for doing this stuff. They were known to have like a guy dressed in white, like flashing having like a flashlight or raising his hand if when there was like a fastball or something like that. And they would turn around to Jose Batista. Like Jose Batista was told straight up, who said, if your guy does it again, you're getting fastballs thrown right at your head. And they stopped right then and there. That's why there was
Yeah,
plenty of times in like the late '90s, early 2000s, you would see the Yankees, starting from the first pitch, they would have the multiple signs going because they believed that it was the Blue Jays who first started. They would be the ones that stealing signs. The Red Sox were doing it up in Toronto as well.
Mhm.
So
yeah,
I wish Baseball Reference would allow you to compare teams like
yeah.
you can
But
players.
what I was talking about for 2018 came from someone that I know that had direct knowledge of the situation. And if you look back at 2018 when Jackie Bradley hit that homer off of Josh James, he knew a changeup was coming. So I have direct knowledge of what was going on. I, I just know it.
Sounds like some
So
X-Files stuff, Danny.
no,
you
it's
know,
not.
I just
I
want
have
the direct
direct
knowledge. I want
sources.
know at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone knew what things were going on. I want to know exactly what in 2019 when the Astros had the buzzers. I want to know. That's what I really want to know is about the buzzers.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah.
Oh, come
I'm
on,
not gonna
say it,
get
Danny.
much.
You want to say something?
Not
Danny,
gonna.
your source is
Not
gonna have
gonna
to come
get.
on the pod, bro.
No. I don't have anything on that one. I really don't. If I did, then I would tell you one way or the other. But I just really don't. I just really don't.
Here's my thing with all the cheating scandals. Flags fly forever. You sell the merchandise, flags fly forever. They obviously don't care. You're gonna make millions and millions, hundreds of millions off winning world championships. If you gotta cheat, you gotta cheat. I mean, flags fly forever, right, guys? I mean, you sell that merchandise, you sell the tickets, you sell the sodas, you sell the popcorn. All that's money in your pocket.
This is all the theories, everybody. We got the music playing for this and everything, guys. Go for it. Everyone, bring it all out. What's everyone's crazy theories now?
Hey man, Paul, like you were saying, it's just like back in the '90s and 2000s with all the steroids stuff going on too. Everyone knew what was going on. It still was happening, and you know what? No one took down anybody's championships during that time frame.
Right, and look at it. You're putting money in those players' pockets. You're putting the money in the owners' pockets. You're putting money into the city at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You cheated, flags fly forever. No one's going to remember that. We might talk about it here and there for 10, 15 years, but all those Astro fans that bought those shirts, that bought the memorabilia, don't give a shit.
They're not. They're not going to.
There you go. They bought their shirt. They bought their flag. They bought their pennant.
All I know is this: as Yankee fans, let's get over this whole. I understand it sucks for us. What happened in 17, it sucks. Everything that has to do with Astros sucks, but April 7th is coming, and there's only one thing I care about right now, and that is that's all I care about right now.
Yeah, I'm just ready for the season to start.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Is
that's
the
what
game-
everyone's looking for.
Is the game on Yes tomorrow? I can't remember or not.
Yeah, it's on Yes tomorrow.
Sweet. Who's gonna bat lead off?
Monday and Tuesday's games are on Yes, and then home opener Thursday.
And then they're doing that extra coverage starting at 9:00 on Thursday,
Yep.
which is gonna be cool.
I think it's a big game for Sevy tomorrow. I think this is kind of.
Oh, Sevy's pitching tomorrow.
Sevy is pitching tomorrow. Yeah, that's what's lined up in MLB.
Ooh.
Sevy's lined up to pitch.
I think from that expectation, we want to see him to repeat his mechanics to the point where he's able to throw strikes with the fastball and slider, because he's just been super inconsistent throwing strikes, and his mechanics has been all off his timing. So hopefully he gets that together before his start next Saturday. Yeah. Because that Red Sox team is going to be coming out swinging.
Yeah, it's definitely him. So his last start was on the 25th, so it's definitely him tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, boys. If we're good for the night, then everyone's staring at each other right now. So, Paul, thank you again for coming on, and
anytime.
We can announce that at least once a month Paul's gonna be joining us. We're having Paul Woodin Friday nights with us. So, Paul, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely, anytime.
All right, and for Danny, Dave, Alex, our producer Manny, for myself, thanks for joining us. Go Yanks!
Woo! One more week.
One more week, and we'll be talking to you guys after game 1.
Hopefully, we hear this song a lot.
Gotta hear it either way.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but you don't want to listen.